Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Entre Mike, where the Entre is short for entrepreneur. Right now it's Friday evening at about 4:30 p.m. As you can see over here in the top right. Um, and sorry for the camera not being up. My camera went dead earlier today. I was doing a few meetings, so I apologize for not having my face on the screen. But happy Valentine's to you guys. This is gonna actually be a video focused on a straight truck or box truck community and just going through DAT one for a couple of hot zones. But just keep in mind, it's basically a holiday, Valentine's Day, and it's 4:30 p.m. So it won't be many loads posted. I just want to kind of, go through and show you guys what the load board, I guess, look like on a slower day, like a holiday. And I want to start off by showing the loads coming in and out. So as you can see, Alaska killing it, right? 13 loads in and 0 loads out. Nah, just kidding. But you can also, you know, go from the most loads coming in and go down in that order. You really want to look at how many loads are going out. And, Texas looks beautiful right now. Looks like a great place to actually go to get some freight. All right. And I got vans up here, of course, because you guys as a straight truck are the equivalent of half a dry van. So let's go ahead and search some loads. Deadhead origin. This is basically showing how many miles you're willing to travel to pick up the next load. Destination would be if you wanted to, let's say, go to a specific place. Like if you wanted to go from Chicago, Illinois to Orlando, Florida within a 300-mile radius of Orlando, Florida. And there's only really one. So you can tell the more specific you get for freight, the harder it is to find. But yeah, we're just going to keep this pretty open for you guys to see what the load board looks like. But this way you guys can get familiar with the brokers who post, what rates are looking like for partials. That's really all I'm seeing now left on the board. It's just a bunch of partials for people to pick up over the weekend. All right. So let's start looking at some of these loads. Like I said, this is out of Chicago, Illinois. I got load type full and partial in. That way, if it's a full load, we can get it. If it's a partial, we're fine picking up one of those. Same for straight box truck. This is just the equipment type. You can also add like van. I wouldn't add air ride unless you have it. Same for like van liftgate. Those are some other options, but you got to be pretty careful when you add on the van and van liftgate options because, well, first off, you got to have a liftgate. Second off, the dimensions. So most box trucks are usually only about 96 to 98 inches tall with roll-up doors and 92 to 96 inches wide. And a lot of the van loads want you to be 102 tall and 98 to 102 wide. So you just want to make sure if you're gonna click on a van load, make sure you're checking the descriptions and comments. Check out these comments on this van load. Pick up Monday, February 17th, first come first serve. Delivery on the 18th at 11 a.m. 4 pallet partials, 53-foot dry van only. All right. So they'll let it be known for these van loads that only, some of these shippers will only load tractors. So you got to make sure you're reading the comments. Like on this one with King of Freight coming out of Michigan, the comments aren't there, so you may be good. Another thing I want to just always scream at you guys is make sure you're checking the credit score with every single broker that you're looking to do a load with. Well, Mike, what's the credit score? The credit score is using their MC number, because yes, freight brokers have an MC number too. So let's say you're factoring with RTS or OTR, you'll take this MC number right here, put it in their credit check profile, and then they'll spit out a letter grade, basically A, B, C, or D. Anything worse than a C, basically you can't do. But these guys, they're pretty legit. Anybody with a 97 score or 95 score is pretty much factorable. It's when you get the guys like this, no offense to this brokerage, but they have a credit score of 75 is where you kind of got to watch out. They may just be a newer company without enough established credit. Look at that, a forklift. I don't really want to carry that in your box truck, but I can see a van picking that up. But if I'm a straight box truck, I'm staying away from that just with how heavy it is. But let's go to another place other than Chicago. This will be a good learning area. Let's go to Orlando, Florida for my Florida guys, because I feel like sometimes you guys think we're picking on Florida people, you know, as far as like the freight being kind of dry. So we'll just go dead center in Orlando, Florida, and kind of check out the rates and see what they're looking like. All right, let's adjust it by rate per. Oh, it is just by rate per mile. So we got one load. You know, this is what we always say. Tampa to Miami. It has a rate of $500 for 279 miles. You know, pretty close to a couple bucks per mile. We'll probably still want to negotiate a few $100s in there just to, you know, make it actually worth it. But we always say that loads going from Florida to Florida or staying within Florida pay pretty well. Same thing for Texas. But when you think about the geography of Texas, it is a peninsula, right? So there are no states below you. There are no states to the east or west of you. So they kind of know when you come down into Florida, you're kind of coming down into a trap. So they know it's not many places you can go from freight, you know, except for north up to Georgia. And they do a pretty good job at keeping the rates pretty low coming out. That's just the truth of it. Now, if you want to dead head out to Atlanta or middle Georgia, that is pretty common. Just make sure when you're getting a load to Florida that it's good enough to, you know, compensate you for that deadhead. Yeah, let's just go to Atlanta. Let's go to Atlanta, Georgia. And like I said, Atlanta, everything right now, this isn't a fair evaluation just because the load board is pretty dead. It is Valentine's Day and it's the end of the day. But I still wanted to, you know, a lot of you guys have been just requesting to see different areas, different freight types on the load board. So I just want to bring that to you guys and kind of go over some of the comments. 26 feet, 4,000 pounds. And a lot of these loads, you can kind of get an idea of what you can parcel, right? So I know when looking at this load, if it's quote unquote 26 feet and it's 4,000 pounds, something tells me that this may only be, you know, maybe 6 pallets, you know? I don't think this is actually going to take up the full length of your truck. Of course, you won't know until you pick it up, but this is where parceling actually gets kind of fun and you can make a lot of money. Because they'll post full loads and tell you need to dedicate it, but then they may not require you to, you know, they may not require tracking, or they may not require a seal on the truck that allows you to go somewhere else and pick up another parcel going in the same direction. And you'll learn as you go, you know, what you're willing to, you know, deal with when it comes to parceling, because it is pretty stressful. And you got to be very careful when it comes to cargo. You know, you got to make sure you separate the freight. You don't want any cargo claims. Got this one partial going from Fairburn to Miami, Florida. Not the best. Like I said, it's just a broad little, you know, video. Nothing paying too crazy, man. Nothing paying too crazy. We got some similar results. Memphis, Tennessee, Fort Lauderdale, a lot of deadhead to get there though. So yeah. Oh, and by the way too, if you're watching this video at this current point, let me know some other cities and states that you want me to check out. Let's go to Charlotte. Oh my bad. Okay, Charlotte. North Carolina's a sticky one, man. I mean, it's pretty decent freight sometimes. It just doesn't seem like it's enough sometimes, you know. Gotta fit the results on a Friday, though. Friday at the end of the day. I'd be trying to get some money for this. Okay, this is another learning lesson. Check this out. The same load. Salisbury, North Carolina to Niles, Ohio, right? So one of them posted it for a van and one of them posted for a straight box. and they both got the same rate. So this is a good tip to learn when you're studying the load board, and why you want to have multiple lanes available, because they posted this for a drive-in to pick up as a partial and a box truck. And it's very arguable in this market that 4 feet of freight, couple $1,000 is a great partial to slap in the back of your truck. Because let's say you already got a load paying $2 a mile, going anywhere within a couple 100 miles of here, you get to slap another dollar, maybe negotiate you $1.25 a mile. Now you're at $3.25 a mile all in, and you know you're barely having to carry more weight for that. Because one thing that's pretty cool about, you know, the straight truck, which is a good thing and a bad thing, is that you can't be no taller than your clearance, right? So your wind drag is going to be the same. So it's really that weight. The weight is the only thing that really makes the load different, you know. And of course, balancing the load and making sure you're not loading one side of the truck more than the other, because that can be a mess too. What I haven't been noticing on these loads is some type of delivering type, you know. I haven't been seeing driver assist. I don't know if that's something that they've been leaving out of the comments, you know, but it's pretty good learning lesson to know the dimensions right here. So me just looking at this, you know, it needs a drive-in or a high box, because it's 87 inches long, 92 wide, and 100 tall, because it's length times width times height, right? So if you're not at least 100 inches tall at the door, you're SOL for getting this load. So you just want to make sure dimensions. If you're gonna ever use van for an equipment type, make sure you check the dimensions. And that's it for the video. Like I said, I'm sorry I could not have my camera on. I'm gonna be going more into detail about more loads next week. Like I said, it's my first week starting this weekly series with the box trucks, with the hot shots. Like I said, if you guys could do anything, just dropping comments down on the hot zone areas that you want to see. If this is some type of content that you want to see around this time, make sure you drop that in the comments. Like the video, subscribe. It's your boy Entre. Peace.